Hi guys, welcome back to Tigre Gitana. My name is Abby, and today we're just gonna do our weekly chakra healing video. I'm gonna keep it super simple like last week, and I just pulled one card for each chakra, and just to keep it simple and just to keep the messages like just flowing smoothly. So the first card that came out, also happy Gemini moon, but the first card that came out for the root chakra was the Two of Cups, which kind of speaks to, there's actually a lot of partnership energy in this reading today. It speaks on partnerships, it speaks on the connections and how we kind of balance our emotional state out with others and with ourselves as well, because we need to have our cup like full in order to be able to give to somebody else. So this speaks on partnerships and what ideas and foundations we have been kind of rooting on for a while now that have been hindering us, whether in partnerships with other people or like how we relate to ourselves basically, and how we can kind of overcome that to have it be the best of what this energy can be, because this energy can be very like, it's supposed to be very balanced and very even and very like flowing, but at the same time it can like, if you don't have your cup full and somebody else has their cup full, there's like a lack of evenly giving back and forth to each other. So there's a need for balance there, especially when it comes to twos. That deals with dualities. This also deals with soulmates as well. So there's a level of wanting to be emotionally stable with other people this week for the root chakra. And this might be like with family, your significant other, even work relationships, wanting things to be a little bit smoother, wanting people to understand you, wanting to feel like you feel secure emotionally in that relationship, and whatever relationship it is that you're struggling with for the root chakra. So there is kind of a need to sort this out, and that could happen in many different ways. For some people, this definitely is a soulmate situation, and this is something that has been going on for a minute, that has been affecting the entirety of that relationship. But it's more about like what is being given and how is it getting resolved, etc. So there is kind of a need to be fair. Now with the sacral space, we have the Nine of Swords. So there's kind of like a lot of things that are internally mentally conflicting right now. Some of you may not have been sleeping, maybe really tired, they have like some anxiety, there's kind of like just this constant ruckus in the brain just running amok in the background, in the foreground, like while you're living your life and trying to live your life. There's just like a lot of stuff going on, and you don't know how to kind of sort through all of these swords, especially because this is a card that Geminis do very well. The Nine of Swords is Gemini energy at its kind of worst in a way, because sometimes we get so many messages, and that's all these swords. We get so many messages that sometimes we just get like super overwhelmed by them, and it's just like, I don't understand what to do with this information. Like, I get that this is a message, but wait, how do I like how do I apply it now? What is it that I need to do? Like this is like, and then it just starts getting anxious because you're just like, this is a lot. So for the sacral space is really about kind of sorting out your mental gunk, and really thinking about how you're hindering yourself and your healing with your mind, and understanding that your mind is the biggest tool for healing, because when you start processing things, you're able to just remove power from that which is hurting you. So there's a lot of there's just a lot of stuff that's going to come up this week in regards to our mind, and how that's kind of bringing up some trauma. Some of you might have like some deja vu moments this week that kind of just pull you abacketh and kind of like trigger certain things that's happened in the past. So just kind of keep out for that, because I feel like it's really easy to kind of get stuck in a loop with those type of traumas, especially if they had like a big impact and you kind of buried it but you didn't address it, type of thing. So keep in mind for that. Now for the solar plexus, we have the Three of Pentacles, bringing again the idea of partnerships and collective unity. This in the solar plexus tells me one thing: you need to kind of put your ego aside when it comes to a situation that needs to be worked through collectively. It's something that, in order for it to be successful and for it to come into its full fruition, needs other people to be a part of. So if there's a situation this week that comes up where you're like putting your ego before what the right thing to do is, you kind of need to check yourself before you wreck yourself, because this is a very kind of collective week. Like, there's a need to use others and get others involved in the things that we're doing, the things that we're working on, whether it's just getting advice, whether it's getting somebody's opinion, whether like you want something to be one way, but it's like somebody else's idea is also better. Like, just listen to what the truth of the situation is, because what this idea that's getting planted, that's getting worked on, it's something that's gonna benefit not just you. So it's like, you might as well be open to like the collective coming in and just helping out and working out. And if there's somebody in your life that is like, hey, I could help you with this, or like, those kind of small moments where we're like, no, we could do everything, this is a really good week to kind of accept help from others, so we can be not only in alignment with ourselves but with our path, because then we're also interacting with others and they get to experience their own experience from the experiences that they have with us. What a tongue twister. But it's really important to be open and not let our ego kind of drive the whole entire moment, the whole entire scene. Take what others are saying to heart, and really, this is also about taking feedback as well, and being open to feedback, and being open to change from the feedback that you receive as well, for this week. That's what I'm seeing for the solar plexus. Now, for the heart chakra, we got the strength card, and this is hilarious because the strength is Leo in tarot, and Leo happens to have probably the biggest heart out of the entire zodiac, and this is kind of a reputation that we know we have. We just have a really big heart and we love like nobody else, but sometimes that can kind of lost in the sauce and we love ourselves more than we love others. It can be a very slippery slope, and it's a scale of where healthy Leos lie. But in the heart chakra, strength really has to do with self-empowerment and how you're kind of taking these experiences that you're growing from and really applying them so you can be better, so you can be stronger, so you can react, so you can heal, so you can like kind of be proud of what you've done, be proud of what you've healed, be proud of the experiences and the choices that you've made, even though at a time it might be something that you didn't actually want to do, but you did it anyway, and it turned out to be like it turned out to be the thing that you were supposed to do. So there's kind of like a need to look at yourself, to really look at yourself and say, okay, you know what, I made that decision and I did this, and this is what occurred afterwards. This is what happened once I changed my mind, once I like stopped being stuck. I just noticed that I had so much power in the situation. I noticed how I was able to dictate the situation to go in this way, and where does that power come from? And it's just really about reflection and nourishment and making yourself strong, on an emotional sense. For some people who will be getting like readings done this week, it's like past life readings and stuff like that, there's an overwhelming amount of power that comes back this time around. This week is a really powerful week to just receive once you've healed those past lives through your heart chakra. There's just kind of like this openness and this this kind of like these powers that are just coming from all of these other lifetimes right back. You're like there's like a huge integration that happens this week, is what I'm feeling for the heart chakra. For the throat chakra, we have the Chariot. This is interesting because the next sign after Gemini is Cancer, and so we have kind of this, the Chariot, which is the card of Cancer, kind of in the throat chakra, saying, okay, so if you know there needs to be a balance, if you know what there's some stuff that needs to be said, and there's some stuff that needs to be collectively addressed when it comes to some of our relationships. How are we addressing it? And are we setting a goal? Are we setting a time frame? Are we trying to avoid it? How can we remedy that? What is it that we need to speak? What is right that we need to speak into existence that needs to be addressed for us to heal that which is blocking us in our root chakra? There's a level of force here with your voice. It's like this week, things you say carry a deeper punch, and you'll find out you were right about certain things. You'll find out that you made the right decision. You'll find out like who's batting for you, who's not, and how that puts you now in the position where you have all this power, where you need to speak and you need to state what it is, say what needs to be said, after you process your emotions first, because that's really what Cancer is about. Cancer will, they have the ability to really look at a situation and say, you know what, this has been unfair to me, and I'm gonna let you know. And out of all the water signs, they're really the ones that will tell you what the problem is first before they do something about it. Like, they'll tell you so they can see if you're gonna do something about that issue that they just stated. And if you don't do anything about it, that's when they get really, really mad. They're already being emotional about it, but when they open up to you, and that's really what it's about in the throat chakra, opening up and saying, hey, this was wrong, this was off, this is how you failed me in this relationship, this is what you did that triggered me, whatever the case may be. And really like listening to yourself and seeing how you react emotionally to these type of situations. Now for the third eye, we have the King of Swords, and this is about having like a keen intuition. This is about communicating it clearly what you see and getting messages from literally everywhere. The King of Swords mastered the ability to communicate with others, to receive messages from others, to be stern, to handle situations verbally, to handle situations socially. So there is kind of a need to kind of like follow your intuition, follow your gut in different situations, because I feel like this week it's going to play out in an unexpected way. You'll have to kind of be direct, be stern, and be completely in a way emotionless with what you see. You're gonna have to disconnect your emotions from what you're seeing, because there's moments when it comes to and there's a video that I'm making, actually I'm working on right now, that I want to post for you guys, which has to do with Game of Thrones and the witches in Game of Thrones. And in the video I was actually going to talk about this, which is kind of like where you feel your prophecies and feeling your intuition and kind of trying to fill in the holes of what you think it's gonna look like, but at the end of everything, the outcome, you got one of the pieces of the puzzle that you were supposed to know, that you were meant to know, but everything else came together completely differently than you saw it. And that's kind of what it is. And the only way that can happen smoothly is if you disconnect your emotions, because when you connect your emotions to your intuition, even though your intuition is, it literally comes from that place, from your third eye, it's all about vibing and feeling it. But when you take away your emotions, when I say your emotions, I mean your bias in the situation, you can see a lot clearer, because you don't have a stake in the game. You don't have a stake in what's gonna happen. You're just seeing things for what it is. And that's really what this is about. This is about not being emotional, but being clear minded, being clearly being able to receive messages directly without any kind of filter in the way. So while you're meant to speak things in a very emotional way, and processing your emotional state, what you see from it, what you see coming out of these situations, how you kind of are able, and this is very Aquarius energy, when they're able to like detach so they can see the bigger picture of their situation. That's very Aquarius energy. That's like that air sign energy. And so you have this kind of like, hey, I can just see what's wrong. I can just see what the issue is. I can see what the problem is. I can see like this is where my intuition has been gravitating towards. This is what has been telling me this whole time. Like, you're able to just see, period. And that's what the third eye is speaking to this week. It's about being discernment without emotion, without being biased. And when you're kind of catching yourself being biased and having like a stake in the game, that's when you really need to like pause. Now for the crown chakra, I pulled the Temperance card, which is really interesting because this talk speaks to balance of the crown chakra. And how do we balance the crown chakra? This is also the card of Sagittarius. So we have like what? Cancer, Sagittarius, Leo on the table. But this is about not only higher consciousness, because that is a very hard Sagittarius thing to do, is to always seek knowledge, which is why one of the things they rule is higher education. But it's about balancing out what is going on. So if you're really frustrated, if you're finding yourself having a lot of headaches and like not being able to connect, having trouble sleeping, especially during Gemini season, I totally get it, because our brain doesn't turn off during this time. So there's kind of like a lot of ruckus going on. You're gonna need to kind of come back to yourself and pause, like meditate. Meditation is going to be a big one, and it's going to balance out the noise that's happening all around you, so you can actually listen to the messages that are coming in, because there's a lot of messages coming in, and it's about discerning them, right? So then you need to balance, pause. And I feel like, yeah, it's been kind of going a little bit quick lately, where everything is just like, and like the days are gone or whatever, but you really need to pause, because the way society is built now is to make it run in their whatever way that they want it, but that's not necessarily the way that you need to be running. You might need to actually slow down and listen to yourself, listen to your body, like connect back to yourself, connect back to your emotions, be able to just kind of not only be with others and take partnerships with others, but also be balanced with yourself, because that's these two things, like I said, you have to have your cup full in order for this to be equal, an equal exchange, a mutual exchange. And the bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups and the Page of Wands. So it's really about balancing out your emotions before you really move, not being petty, not trying to like just say things to her or anything like that, but just really being like, there's a separation here, and I'm able to dissect that separation. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie to you, this takes a lot of practice, and is part of the craft, 100% part of the craft, because it's not easy for everyone to separate their emotions from the work that they do, and what we do is, which is, it literally is a practice. And there's a lot of people out there that do work just to kind of just get what they want, but they don't try to grow from the situation. So it makes it frustrating to practice, and that's why this is a practice. Separating your emotions from your mind, your discernment, improves your intuition like tenfold, because then you're able to really it's almost like when some people don't like to read from themselves, don't like to read their own cards for themselves, they like others to read them, but they're able to read others really well and all that stuff. It's really about being able to read yourself and know when you're being biased when you're reading yourself, even when you're reading the cards. I know when I'm doing it. Like, I know when I'm like, I want that card to mean that, you know what I'm saying? I totally know. And it always comes back to bite you, because it's like, you know what the definitions of the cards are. So you trying to like twist it and turn it into something else is only going to backfire, because you already got the information. So you know, but you're working against yourself. So that's really what it is. It's about not working against yourself on a spiritual level when it comes to your growth. So I hope you guys have a good week. I will see you guys in the next video. I have like a bunch of videos coming, because I'm still editing the LA video, and you guys know it's the beginning and the end of the month, so the Botanica haul is coming, and the empties video is coming, and I filmed like 2 more bonus videos for you guys, so stay tuned for that. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're almost reaching 1,000. I'm so excited. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe.